Barbara Jell, Jell.
Barbara is a 76-year-old grandmother from Somerset. Her elderly friend has just had a run-in with the police.
Because she's our chauffeur, we come up from Somerset, we can't get home without her for a start.
They've travelled across the country to take part in an anti-lockdown rally here in Birmingham. They believe the virus is a hoax.
Because I know what freedom is and they've taken it away from us, and I don't want my children to bequeath this dystopian hell.
Their group ends up waiting for her release at the local custody suite. But Barbara and her friends are angry.
This government, they're fascist pegs. We've got a fascist government, fascist police force and a fascist NHS.
Earlier that day, an anti-lockdown demonstration in the centre of Birmingham.
Robbing us of the power to see our families, friends, and had caused the cancellation of Christmas.
Barbara's friend has just been arrested and she is not alone.
I was just out with my girlfriend, there was a little protest going on and they've just antagonised me and bent me up on the floor.
There's an important distinction to be made here between people who question the severity of lockdown versus people like Barbara, who believe that the pandemic has been orchestrated by a global elite. The latter is textbook conspiracy theory.
Because I don't believe in the COVID. I don't believe it's real.
The pandemic has galvanised an army of conspiracy theorists, from anti-vaxxers to anarchists, the far left to the far right, New Agers to religious hardliners, and everything in between.
Freedom is upon us, and so is justice. And our justice will be absolute, and it will cut deep.
Over a number of weeks, we've been attending demonstrations like the one in Birmingham. We're not here to unpick what the conspiracy theories are. We're here to ask why people believe in them. What do conspiracy theorists get out of them?
And any truth that isn't censored is buried beneath their mountain of propaganda. We must break free, for this country is diseased, rotten to the core.
Barbara explained to us that her worldview is partly about taking back control. Having these opinions and beliefs, does it give you a sense of empowerment?
I do feel kind of superior to people who don't want to know and who don't want to wake up, and you know what we call the sheep.
But it makes you feel strong.
A lot of the time, Parag, I've been terrified.
Have you?
I'm absolutely terrified in my own country. And I have been for months, and ever since these lockdowns began to be perpetuated, because I realised what they were doing to us.
Yeah.
They're destroying all our businesses. I mean, they can't stand another lockdown. 250,000 businesses are on the brink of collapse at the moment, and we've lost thousands and thousands already, bankrupted, gone to the wall because of these lockdowns.
This was a common theme in private conversations with demonstrators. Aside from the convictions themselves, the theories gave people a sense of order. It also provided a sense of togetherness. In the isolation of lockdown, a community of struggle.
And in those situations, you can expect conspiracy theorists to come together as a form of community, not just to support each other, but also to find meaning in their lives. If I feel like in my life I have no means of engaging in politics, no means of controlling what's happening in the world around me, what I might sometimes do is engage in a conspiracy theory, because that will reassert my feelings of agency.
There have been protests around the world like the one in Birmingham. Some have become violent. While part of it is frustration with lockdown, which everyone is feeling, it's also, of course, driven by disinformation.
So we will sit down with the policy teams at Facebook twice a week, Google twice a week, with YouTube once a week, TikTok, Twitter.
The World Health Organization has a dedicated team putting out disinformation fires. Andy Patterson and his team helped Facebook remove over 12 million pieces of COVID-related disinformation last year. What are the current trends at the moment, Andy, when it comes to misinformation and disinformation in the UK around COVID that are ringing alarm bells for you and your team?
Yeah, so from our point of view, the next big battleground is definitely vaccine acceptance, whether people are going to take the vaccine or not. at the moment, there's very genuine people in those groups who are losing economic power. They've lost their jobs. They're going to lose their homes. These are very desperate people. And, you know, the fear of losing their livelihood is actually greater than the fear of COVID.
Although there's a way to go, the pandemic has focused minds at some of the bigger tech companies when it comes to counteracting conspiracy. Removing the factors that make the theories resonate for some in the first place, though, is a far more complicated cultural proposition.